Alrighty, lumberjacks, welcome back to another episode of FDR Logging. Last time we were playing, we did a whole episode with Buncher, or I was gonna say Bunchers, but the Buncher that we were using. This episode, we're just gonna keep cleaning up. We're kind of getting lots of random tasks going on, so I'm just kind of rolling with it here. I played with this forwarder a little bit. Playing with the claws, trying to get them all comfortable. The logs are still a bit slick. When you mix in the little pieces, can I get that one? Go fishing here. Oh yeah, come on. There you go, perfect. Yeah, so like I said, we got lots of different things on the go. That's kind of the fun part of doing these episodes is I just try to get tons of ADD little projects going on all over the place, doing different stuff. And yeah, I just kind of move around from side to side. My other plan was I was going to try to do some hill related stuff. And try that world out. Ah, see these little buggers. Slippery little buggers. Man, I watched this video on TikTok, and I should, if I had the link, I'll share it if I remember. I probably won't remember. It's a guy unloading, I think if you typed in like log loader unloading wet aspen or something, or wet poplar, and he's in a dangle head loader, and he's like swinging his grapple and trying to grab from a deck that's like leaning down towards the road, and like every grab he grabs, they just start sliding out of the deck onto the ground, and it's just like, oh man, talk about OCD frustrating to watch. I'm like, that sucks, bro. But it's just the way it is sometimes, I guess. It's funny because you think like all this wood would be like really like nice and chill and like it'd be easy to do, but in real life, like you get snow and ice on it, or it's wet and the bark slips off, and different types of wood does different stuff, and different types of bark is more frictiony than others, and oh yeah, it can get pretty wild, man. So when I complain about little things like, oh, every grab is not perfect and the log slipped out, it's like, yeah, that's not an abnormal thing at all, even in reality. I've heard some pretty funny stories, loading stories from guys loading some really ridiculously crappy wood. Oh, what's going on there? Must have something hooked on the back. That's sometimes what happens when you're going for a grab too. Like the bottom of your, like right where your teeth connect, they kind of hit right on a log. So you'll think you got a good grab, and then you lift up and all your logs start sliding, and you're like, ah, what's going on? When really what happened was you freaking got it caught on that one stick, and you didn't have any tension on the other logs. It's all on that bottom stick. And that's just a wild world. Yeah, this grapple is always an interesting one to play with. Some people want it to close perfectly straight, so you'll notice it's like there's a little bit of a gap on the bottom. So I did that to allow it to close and slide up under the other one. I mean, it's more of a visual thing, because I didn't want it going through the other grapple. I mean, I think it does a little bit anyway, but the whole intention of that was to make it so it goes underneath the grapple to close up. Because if they line up perfectly, like right on the tong tip, they'll go right through each other. And I think they do a little bit anyway. Depends on what angle you got it at, but anyway, I could line them up, but this is way more fun. And that's not perfect. I don't know if it would grab better if it was perfectly lined up anyway. I think it grabs a little bit better having it slightly offset. But maybe I don't know anything. That's possible. All that wood we dumped down over in that other zone, I think I'm going to turn that into probably mostly long logs, because we have so many short log piles on the go here that I think I might turn that one into long logs. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop bringing them all the way back. So I'm going to start bringing them forward now to that landing, and then we'll just build a couple log decks alongside the road there, because there's already some really nice decks that are kind of thrown in there as is. So we'll see it when we get up there, because we're definitely closer to the cut block end where we're picking up the shorts here. We're way closer to that end than we are this end. You can do a little more road grinding too here. I think we'll just drive around the grinder and pick up some more logs. I think my grinder is right next to a deck of logs that I need to pick up though, so I'm gonna have to go move that guy. Yeah, it is too. Of course, I had to park it right in the middle because that's just what people do, man. Here, we'll hop out here for a second and go grab that. Just give it a little shuffle here. Here, I'll spin it just for fun. Love that you can do that. That's so sweet. Being able to jump turn is always a blast. Just playing with physics. Okay, so here we go. Pickup mode. A little more forwarding. A little bit more forwarding. So like I said, I think I pretty well got this grapple pinned in decently. Like I said, there's still a few occasions where if you got the logs pinned weirdly, they'll slip out, or sometimes I think I got the grapple float pretty much fixed, because what would happen sometimes is you'd bite down on the logs really hard and the grapple would float a little bit. Like it would lift up on one end. I think I got that resolved. But I'm sure anything's possible. I think it's something to do with the grip strength. Like if you have too much grip strength applied to it, it starts to like, I always called it the hand of God, where it would start lifting in the air. If you guys ever played that motocross MX game, or you had a button that was like, it was called hand of God, and it would just make your guy fly up into the air. Anyway. There's this little piece in here. Do we want that? I guess so. It's coming with us. When they're that thin, I don't even know why I cut them. I should have just chipped it. Chipping. I remember I wanted to do something with chipping one day. See if I can get it to go in the bunk here. There we go. I lock my straps when I'm driving. People are asking about that. They're like, why do you keep locking the load every time you move up to the next pile? Because, watch what happens here. I don't know if it'll do it, but even though the truck comes to a beautiful rolling stop, which I designed it that way so it wasn't like an instant brake, it comes to a nice rolling stop. But even with that in this game, watch what happens. So if I turn the locking straps off and I brake, see how they jumped ahead just that little bit at the end? I don't want to do it again because I don't want them all coming out of here. But yeah, so nothing I can really do about that other than closing off the rear or something. I don't know. Just lock your load when you're moving, or face the consequences of kissing your load all over the road and having to pick it up again. See, that was a nice, smooth, satisfying grab. So, we're pretty much at that section. So I think what I might do is build the deck along this road maybe, or maybe along that edge over there where it's nice and open. That way we can kind of clean it up a little bit. Because the cleaner, the better, right? Oh, see, that's a satisfying grab right there. Oh, I love those ones where it's just like, yeah, it's like you just wrapping your hand around a bunch of pencils and it just perfectly slides into the grooves. You got a good grip, everything's smooth. Okay, we probably fill up our forwarder just from this little pile here. It's quite a bit of wood. We'll do 3 and then grab those other 2. These are kind of heavier. When you get these heavier logs, like the rounder ones, don't go for big grabs because you're going to lose the trees. Like, guaranteed you're going to lose them. And as you guys can see, I raised up that, this piece here that you bang the logs up against. Whoops. See if I can get it. That, whatever, that front bar, the guard, I raised that up a little bit. As I said I was going to do in that one video. There we go. Bonk. So yeah, when you get like, even in these piles, I can look down. So like when I'm looking at that pile, I kind of read the front of the pile too. Because if I'm looking in the middle, I have no idea what's underneath. But if I have a side view, I can see there's 1, 2, 3 of the kind of big ones right next to where I'm banging into the logs here. So I know there's a big chunks at the bottom. So I'm not going to go for a huge grab. I'm just going to do a little bite off the top. And then I'll get what I get. See, and then you get a nice kind of more of a smoother grab. But if you try to go in there and grab everything all for one mercy shot, you're going to have, your grapple's not going to sit well, and you're going to have stuff falling out of it. So again, these are kind of weird angles, so I kind of like scoop it a bit. Again, I'm going to maybe roll that one out of there. Sometimes I'll just move them around. Again, it's way easier if you're processing non-bunch piles. Like if you're just leaving little rows of like 2 or 3 together, that's way easier to deal with. But we actually went through with the processor and we cleared the buncher piles. And the buncher piles have a lot more wood in them, so you get bigger stacks. I mean, if you're processing, you could always separate them a bit better too, like put the big ones off to the side. But when you're walking down a road full of stumps, it's, you know, kind of less of a chance you're gonna play with the accuracy of how you separate the pieces. Let's push that down in there. I should be able to get the rest of these in this bunk. Let's not be too ambitious here. Let's get these two and then we'll grab the rest. But yeah, the logs settle well. It feels realistic to me. Again, we'll do some hill stuff and you guys can see the lack of realism on hills where they slide down. Not saying logs don't slide down hills, because they absolutely do. I've seen that in real life as well, but probably not quite as aggressively as they do in this one. Okay, let's go camp this out over here. So yeah, I think I'm going to dump these along this little ravine road here. We'll make our own little area. So we got, well, I got a fair bit, but what I might do is do two separate piles. So I'm going to put a pile over here, kind of tucked away. Maybe right along here, I think will be good. So let's build a deck right here. And I'm actually going to throw it in the grass just so it's kind of off our road a bit. Well, we could do those. We could paint out that grass. I mean, best to be like take an actual wood chipper, but we're going to be lazy and we're just going to paint out a section here. So we're going to put a little deck in here. And then, oops, I'm pushing the wrong keys here, flying away. And then I'm going to lay a little deck over here as well. And I don't know how much we're going to get in there, but we'll try our best. So that's another way to do stuff too. Like if you're planning stuff out, just paint little sections of what you want to do. Like if it's like, oh, I want to put the wood here, I think. Well, then go paint out a deck there and put it there. I should probably start loading. So one of these episodes, I'll clean up that stuff we have at the beginning of the block and off the road. We got big piles of crap over there we got to clean up. Big old piles of crapola. Offloading, I'm a little more, well, one, you can see the logs a bit better, but offloading, I'm a little more aggressive with my grabs than I am when I'm picking up, because I can actually kind of see what I'm grabbing. So I'll go a little deeper and do a grab. And also, if it falls out of my grapple, I know it's going to fall nicely back into the cradle here, so I'm really not too worried about it. I don't like them when they crisscross like that. See if I can bang it over there. There you go. Actually, they bang together quite nicely too. And I mean that in a total logging way. Hehe. See if I can whip it. Come on. Ugh. You see which one I want to get here? This little one that's kind of crossed. I try to keep the piles as straight as possible, at least for the bottom. And then once you get higher up, I don't really care. But the bottom needs to be at least laid down half decently, because all that wood's going to sit on top of this. And if you have one that's crisscross at the bottom, you're not going to have a very good time. I can't really see my tops and my bottoms here because I'm unloading really close. I guess I could aim my head down. There we go. Let's do that. In real life, you just look down. Actually, in real life, you'd be here. We could try loading from this position too, just for fun. First person style. I don't really think it's more difficult or less difficult. I like the above view just for my visual layout, but I mean, you could do it this way too. And honestly, with this 830 TF with the new D series style cab, like this Timber Pro forwarder, it's definitely way easier to see what you're grabbing because you have so much space in your cab. On the old one, it was kind of rough, the old TF with that closed cab, because it was really hard to see like what you were unloading. So that was kind of a pain in the ass, but I actually really like this one. I think it's quite nice. So I'm trying to get the forwarding cleaned up, but we'll just, every episode, I'm just going to jump to something else. And we'll just slowly work our way through the wild world of logs. Oops, I kind of pulled that one back a bit. And again, you can be as OCD perfect in these piles as you want to be. But at this point, I don't really care because I've got these pretty massive, nice loaders with really sick grapples. So I can come through here and I can butt this stuff up really nice. I mean, you save yourself time because if you lay it in nice now, when you come through with your loader, it's not going to be as crappy of an experience because all your piles will be fairly straight. Let's go. Oh, we got one crossed on the bottom there. try that. There we go. See, and then same thing as if you put little ones on the bottom. I'm not going to move those, but if you have little ones on the bottom, that can also pose a problem occasionally. I was trying to butt that one. There we go. And again, I like them to try to be at least a little bit straight. Oops. Of course, don't hit the ground. That's good. There you go. So you see them starting to like look like they're going sideways. Just give them a little shove. Again, I'm just being a little overly critical here. Let's lay him down this side here. So yeah, like I said, either view, I don't actually mind this view. Loading, I think I found it to be a little harder than unloading. Unloading's easy because I'm sitting in one spot. Sometimes when I'm driving around, it's hard to see ahead of myself in the forwarder. What am I trying to grab here? I can't get in there. What am I grabbing? Oh, must be something there. Weird. Almost wondering if there's a collision there. We're gonna have to check now because modder time. This is why you're watching FDR logging and not realism logging, so I can actually check my load. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was there. That's something I'm gonna look at. I wonder if that must be a solid collision then. Let's find out, because that's kind of a big deal. I wonder if that's, oops, whoa, easy now. I wonder if that's the trailer base. Oh yeah, that's a solid collision, all right. God, no wonder I've been having so many friggin' troubles, hey? With lifting and stuff. So that, what that is I think it might be, I don't think it's the base collision. I think it's the actual collision for the trailer itself. And I don't know why it's raised up so much, but that's so weird. Or maybe because it didn't have collision active before. Well, actually, you know what? We can do a quick fix right now, maybe. I'll just turn collision off on that rear trailer. Man, that's so funny. I can't believe that's there and I didn't notice it. So I was wondering, I was having troubles. So let's just disable that collision on that single point. And then we'll reload it and see what happens with our claw here. I'm looking for, oh god, I don't want to go through the list. Vehicle, reload. Actually, it's probably faster if I type reload. Vehicle reload, there it is. Oh, look, it went right through there. So that's all it was just a collision on the back base. I just disabled that. That's not an essential collision by any means. I still hit the trailer, but I'm not hitting that piece anymore. As you can see, I'm kind of going right through it. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, so now we're just hitting the bottom base piece, which is right here. It's not a perfect collision system, but nothing is in this game. That's wild. Huh, that's funny. Well, that's good. Now we learned something new, and we got to fix it together, too, so that's good. Oh, hey, look, we have trees right here. So I can just grab these, do a full rotation, and chuck them right into our pile. I don't even have to go walk around with those. Let's go put them further on this end here. That one little one trying to be creepy there. Let's see if we can butt that up. Oops, I think I went right around it. That's almost impossible of a shot to normally make. If I wanted to do that, I would never have been able to do it. And you get these ugly ones. These are ugly. I should just ship these. Like, these are just god-awful. They don't load well. They sit weird. They're just a menace to the log pile. But you know what? We're gonna treat it as an equal. Okay, so why don't we backtrack a little here? Actually, you know what we'll do is we'll shimmy shamble this stuff over here. Since we're so close to this would be easier to do with a loader, but we got a forwarder, so we're just gonna make it work here. That's a pretty decent grab there. And I'm just gonna swing this stuff over here. We'll use that little stump as kind of our end point. That'll kind of help the pile stay butted up. Perfect. And we'll pick up the remnants here. And then everything past this little pile here, like up there, we'll move over to that other pile. But I'm going to backtrack and grab this stuff here. And we'll contribute it to this pile. So why don't we do... Oops. Back up. I forget when I switch gears that I'm driving the opposite direction. There we go. Okay, so first of all, let's butt this up a little bit so that we're a little bit straighter. I have a horrible time with that sometimes when I'm laying down the logs, especially short logs. Like trying to keep them all nice and neat piles. It's probably a little bit of depth perception too, so I can let that save my terrible... Because it's funny, because in real life, like, I'm pretty, like, god-awful, like, for level... I'm good at leveling stuff. Like, if I see something that's off alignment, I'll know right away. Like, I can just see it. In this game, sometimes I'll build a whole deck, and I'm like, yeah! And I go back and look from a distance, and I'm like, what the hell happened there? That's a little bit weird, but okay. There we go. Oop. We'll just add these in here. We can actually slide that. Oh, nice. My grapple by itself isn't heavy enough, but if you have a big handful of wood and you go in there, then you can usually get it. And then we'll grab this little bundle here. Actually, maybe we'll butt those up a little. Give them a little flick here. It's satisfying when you can pencil. There's definitely techniques to penciling, though. Let me tell you, like doing it half decent. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll squeeze these this way. Give this one a little flick in there. Oh yeah, we're in this view again. I told myself I was going to use this view. Before, that was, I guess, when we were fixing the... I guess I automatically go to that other view so much, I'm just used to it. See, I don't know if I have enough weight to really flick these into that pile. Could just hammer away at it. We're getting there. One little tap at a time. 6 months later, the wood's got a big broken piece in the middle. But yeah, there's not a crazy amount of weight on this grapple. Not compared to the other ones. The other ones are really heavy. But this one specifically works good because of its weight. Oh, come on. Good enough. Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to go this way. We'll start back here. Man, I feel so low to the ground. I guess we are pretty low to the ground, though, hey? Like, if you look at it. Well, not really. I mean, if I get out of the cab, it's still kind of up there. It just feels really low to the ground, I guess, because I'm so used to being high up with this guy. We could try this and see how it goes. So let's grab... Oops, geez Louise. My depth perception ain't happening. And throw that and see how we can go about it here. I think the harder part is navigating from this view once you get her loaded up. So again, making sure we lock it. Gonna go this way a little bit. I think that's... I should do a little spin around here. I think that's everything from there on back. That's all tops and pieces from processing, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, we'll just load this up. And we'll throw this stuff into that pile, and we're pretty well close to it. I think I'll just bring the loader over after that, and we will clean up the rest of it. Next episode, we should probably load up at least the stuff that's on the road there that we left in that big first huge pile that we had. So maybe we'll do that first. There we go. And we'll throw this in here. Ooh, see, I don't like that grab. You can sometimes you feel it, it just doesn't feel good. See that one? That's good. But the other one, that was not very good. It's actually, maybe it's easier doing it this way. I'm having a easy time loading. I guess I'm so used to loading from that camera view. To me, it's like that's the only view that we can use. But this is working out. Like I said, once your bunk is completely full of wood, I bet navigation's not going to be such a very fun time here. But whoop. Yeah, let's walk over to this pile. Wait till we come to a complete stop before we remove our locking straps. I'll just grab that up a little more here. See, not a good grab. I don't like that. That a little bit better. I like that. But even in real life, you're constantly readjusting, and if you don't feel you have a good grab, drop it. Pick it up again. See, like that doesn't feel like a good grab. I don't like that. So I'll drop it, fiddle with it a little bit, pick it up again. A little bit better. Still not great. I'm going to pick it up again. Yeah, feels better. I could probably butt it up a bit if I can get it to kind of right in the middle of the weight here. Let's try that. There you go. Perfect. But yeah, don't feel like your first grab has to be the only grab, because sometimes that's not the one, man. Sometimes that's just not the right one. Okay, let's add this to this pile. If I could get alongside. This is the tricky part. See, like, I can't really navigate where the heck I am. That's the harder part for sure. Okay, let's try to unload this sucker. Boop. And again, I'm a little more aggressive with my grabs when I put them into the pile, because I don't really... not as concerned. If you want them all to be perfectly straight, then you can be a little more ADD. But once I get them in the cradle, in the cage, in the bunk, I'm a little less worried about how they're going to come out, because I can see them a little bit better when I'm dumping them. And if they go out of place, I can rearrange them. It's just when you're picking them right off the bat, it's like I don't want to have to keep messing with it. I want to just get a good grab, and then I don't have to worry about it. Oop, there we go. Oh, we're going to lose that one. There she goes. Slipped right out of there. I'm going to save this one. Depth perception, depth perception, depth perception. There it is. And we'll just re-add this to our next grab here. You guys get to hear what's going on in the mind of an operator while we're working. It's not just rave music. Although sometimes it is just rave music. I've definitely had days operating where I'm just like totally just in the zone listening to tunes. Not a thought in your mind. And then other days where you're totally reconsidering your entire life and your life choices. So it's a 50-50 really. Oh, that's a pretty good grab. Honestly, this has got to be the best forwarder experience though that I've had in this game, or any of the games. I mean, I spent a lot of time on it, so like it's much deserved that it is a good experience, but like dang, it feels pretty darn good. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, and then we only have a little bit left here, so maybe we'll park the forwarder. And we can use a loader and just hike that stuff over if we want. Or use the loader to load the forwarder too if you really want to move it around real easy. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll call it at that. That was a pretty good forwarder episode in my opinion. I think we got a lot done. Built a couple extra decks. Like I said, this whole area over here is going to be our pretty much long log zone. So once we get all that kind of butted up and cleaned up, then we'll be good to go. So yeah, I think we'll call it there. All right, guys. Well, we'll leave it at that, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.